When using an interpreter, the most important consideration is that they understand your business.
Finding a good interpreter is actually industry specific. So I would probably start by going to the local embassies or the design institutes. But you should be aware that definitely you might be in the construction industry or in a marketing industry. The translators who may be good in both of those may not necessarily be able to cross over.
I would look to employ someone that's been involved in your business before. If you employed an English major straight out of university who's very good at English, they won't necessarily have a knowledge of the business. I have very good sales managers, purchasing managers, logistics managers around me, so whatever meeting I need to attend, I take those people with me.
Often when you're in a meeting, you'll be talking to your Chinese counterpart. Behind your Chinese counterpart will be at least one interpreter, possibly two, one for each side. Make sure that you're looking at your counterpart and not at the interpreter, even when the interpreter is actually interpreting for you.
In terms of whether you're getting the right information or not, you don't ever really know first up. There is a lot of ambiguity, there's a lot of nuance in what people will say to you.
Every time I asked something to be done and I heard a yes in reply, I thought yes meant the same thing that it meant here, which was yes, I'll go and do it. Yes means I heard you, not I understood you, I will go and do it, or I even agree with you. So yes has got a completely different meaning in China. I appreciate that now.
So in terms of contract clarity, we found it invaluable to have Mandarin speakers at our end who can interpret not just the Mandarin version of the contract, but equally, probably more importantly, the Chinese translation into English of the contract. And having that validation, not just as we've been used to from a legal perspective, but from a Mandarin nuance perspective, has been absolutely critical.
Make sure your interpreter can be understood in the region of China you'll be doing business in.
The right side of the hole, on the right side of the hole should be the most important.
You know, ask the question in different ways, because people will not necessarily get what you're really after the first time.
Do not expect very quick deal in China, because you need pre-negotiation, then you have a formal negotiation, then maybe you have post-negotiation in China. So it's compared with New Zealand and China, it's something you have to consider. A
lot of the decision-making in local companies is made at the very top. And so the delegation of authority is not really there to the same extent it would be in say, a multinational company. Not knowing who the decision maker is can be one of the hardest things to understand, because that is difficult to find out.
China is a hierarchical society, and when you're actually trying to find out who the real decision maker is, you can actually keep your eyes and your ears open. For instance, when you are in a business meeting, watch out who comes into the room first, who defers to whom, how the business cards are handed out, who speaks first, how the seating arrangements are made, and of course who gets the biggest gifts. All these will give you a hint as to who the major decision maker is.